Okay, let's get this show on the road. How is everyone doing today? Let's get the show on the road. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. I'm Paul Kalemir, and I am rocking a no BS t shirt today, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, I have to mention the weather. What do you think about this weather? This is unbelievable. We are in the middle of a heat wave, and that's what we want in the summer. Welcome to July, everybody. Although it's not July 1st, it is not July 2nd. Today's July 3rd, but still, it's beautiful out there. It's 80 degrees. It's just a gorgeous day. When I get out of here, I'm going to lay in the sun. Everybody's telling me you got black eyes. Well, yeah, if you don't sleep and at night, that's probably what you get, black eyes. You got black eyes. But I got to say that we had crappy weather in May, crappy weather for most of June, and now we're into the summer, hot, humid, you name it. What a storm last night. Bing, bang, boom. It was going off, thunder and lightning. Oh, yeah. The weather was frightening, but it ended by morning, and here we are today with just a gorgeous day out there. And we could have pop up showers anytime. I was asking my buddy Ken Hunter, um, how come he didn't come home for the car show? He usually is home for the car show on Tuesdays, and he said because there was such a chance of rain, they canceled it, or he didn't go because of it. Anyway, I don't know if they canceled. And then I saw a picture of downtown Niagara Falls, and it was just pouring rain down here. But at my house, I never got anything, not even a drop of rain. And that was Tuesday. So who knows? It's wacky weather. It runs in bands off the lakes and stuff. But I'm happy with this weather. I'll tell you that. And yeah, so did I mention my name? Just in case you watch this, you know who the hell I am. I'm Paul Kalemir. So there you go. I look across and the pavers have done that. Excuse me. Nice little paving job over there. I always get stuffed up when I get outside, especially across, excuse me, from the pollinator meadow. All those weeds are noxious over there. They knock me out. In the meteor crater, well, they call it a pollinator meadow. They want to spend 40,000 to build a pollinator meadow, but you know what? They got one right here. Just send people down here. They can see the meteor crater. They can see the pollinator meadow growing in it. I mean, it's a sight. It's got to be like the 10th natural wonder of the world over there. So yeah, so enjoy the weather, everybody. Come on, I looked at the forecast, and for 2 weeks it's going to be like this. So enjoy it while you can. Get out there, enjoy it, take the kids places, do things, have a good time. Now, what about this shirt? No BS, and that stands for nothing but sports, which is the show that comes on before mine on Thursday morning. Starts at 10:30, ends at 11:30. Run by Dave Alexander, with Pat Porter in the studio with him, and he talks pure sports. I mean, we do the Habsolutely show, all Habs, all show, but Dave tackles all sports: golf, baseball, hockey, soccer, tiddlywinks, pickleball championship, you name it, Dave will cover it. He is a sports guy and he knows what he's talking about. I'm amazed when I listen to the show and he talks to my buddy Paul Vickery down in the villages in Florida about golf. Because Paul is an expert. He knows what he's talking about. But Dave Alexander, he knows it is, well, not as good as Paul. Paul's the guy. Mr. Golf, we call him. But Dave Alexander is a close second. I'll tell you, he knows what he's talking about. So that's the show. No BS. 10:30 Thursday mornings, right before my show. And he was good enough to give me one of his shirts. I love it. No BS. Listen on 4680 Q Radio. So we're going to get into the show. Lots to talk about. We got everything going on here. And I'm going to talk about everything. I'm going to be all over the place today. So enjoy. Because I'll have comments on all of it. You know that. I'll give you my opinion. There's no problem with that. But first, my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission, our newest sponsor. And you get a day like today, and you know what's going to happen. You're going to pack the kids in the car. You want to go somewhere this weekend, and the car's going to break down, or the air conditioning isn't working. Something's going to happen. It's Murphy's Law, but there's one way to prevent it other than buying a new car. And even that'll break down on you. Take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Like uh-oh, that sounded bad. Ken Hunter. Oh boy, that could have been a real faux pas on the radio and the video, couldn't it have been? Ken Hunter from Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Listen, he's going to take your car in, throw it on his computer, diagnose any problems, fix them, check your brakes, check your air conditioning, check everything. He's going to make sure you're going to have a happy motoring summer. And he's got a full body shop. So if you get in a wreck, you take it in there. And when he brings it back to you, your eyes are going to pop because that thing is in showroom condition. That's how he does business down there. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, wildbillsauto.ca. Check it out for yourself, but make sure you're proactive. Get that car ready to go for the winter. You don't want breakdowns. That's the last thing you want with your wife and your kids and your dog in your car. You don't want to be on the side of the road waiting for some service to come and help you out. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Support our sponsors. They support the show. They support the city and city events. They're great people. And also, while you're at his website, checking out his beautiful website, go to the video. Subscribe. It costs nothing. 60 or 70% of people watch the video, but they don't subscribe. Come on, subscribe. It costs nothing. You get a notification when I drop another video in the afternoons, usually. What the heck? Why wouldn't you? And then you can listen to me. Well, that's a good reason maybe not to, but a lot of people like to listen to me just because they want to tell me I'm full of BS. There you go. No BS. So, yeah, subscribe. Come on. Get in there. Do me a favor. The algorithm gets out there when you subscribe. That's what we want. More people being interactive, telling us what they think, and then we do what we got to do. Look at this guy on the paver out there. Hello there, brother. Look at that. You got that paver going. The regional paving. Look at them. They're rocking and rolling over there. They're done. When the paver leaves, the job is done. Okay, so it appears Canada Day was a huge success. From what I've seen, the event at Fireman's Park was well attended. And everyone seemed to be having a great time. Live music, food vendors, and family-friendly activities. That's what they wrote in the review. Added to the celebration, which was threatened by rain, but ended up being a beautiful day for everyone attending. Congratulations to the staff at City Hall for planning and executing a successful event on Canada's birthday. And I think the only thing that I have to say about that, throw in a parade. You've covered all the bases and have yourself a big winner. I think that's the one thing people miss in this city. That's what people talk to me about anyway. They tell me, oh, no parade. I wish there was a parade. I agree. Everybody loves a parade. And most cities have them on Canada Day. They got floats with bands playing, and they have all the muckety mucks like King James the Weird. He's up there, and Only 8, Triple F, No Dose. They're all there. They're all there. So what the hell? Why not? Why not have a parade? I love a parade. Come on, let's go. We used to have a parade. Then when the BIA went south and the city took it over, no parade. No parade. Let's bring it back. I also noticed in the review, Niagara Falls singer Phoebe, who makes her home in Los Angeles now, actually Santa Monica, is to be part of a new Netflix show. How about that? Valerie Borghese, and you heard me talking about her a few weeks ago because she was coming home to visit her parents and that kind of thing. And it just so happened to be on the same weekend the Rick Rose street naming ceremony was, along with the event organized by 4680Q. And she just happened to be home and came in and did a couple songs for us, made an appearance there, which is fantastic. And if you don't know Valerie, she calls herself Vibi, V-I-B-I, or Vibi, I don't know which one. I never asked her how she pronounced it. I say Vibi, she might say Vibi. Either way, she's a talent that's on the upswing, and she's on the verge of really making it. And I'm so happy for this modest woman. She's so nice. I met her 8 years ago, probably 9 years ago, when she was actually had a band together playing and practicing at the studio, the 4680Q studio. It was down on Queen Street where Taps is now. And I used to talk to her every day and just tell her, listen to them. And you just knew she was going somewhere, only as far as she had the ambition to go. So she's there now and doing it. And now they're doing a show. It's called something about a band. Build the Band, I think it's called. Build the Band. Building the Band. That's what it is. Building the Band. And she's the only Canadian on the show. And she's the only Canadian on the show right now, Building the Band. And what the premise of it is that singers attempting to form 6 bands without actually meeting each other. They'll listen to each other from individual sound booths and make decisions based solely on talent and gut instinct. Once the bands are locked in, they'll meet and compete before a panel of judges. And this is fantastic. I'm so happy for her. She deserves any kind of success she has. She works hard and she's so nice. She's really, really a nice person. So Vivi, she's not new to a contest like this. 2 years ago, she received a golden ticket from judges Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan to advance on American Idol, but fell short in the finals. And congratulations to her. She's has as big a heart and is so nice as her look. She's a beautiful girl, and good for her. She worked so hard to achieve her goals, and she's on the way. I truly believe she's on the way. Catch the show on Netflix starting on July 9th. And I want to thank John Law for the tremendous article in the review about Valerie Borghese, known as Vivi. And we'll just follow her career because that's going to be something to watch. So over to the courts, and it appears Mike Strange case has been moved to the end of July. So representative of his lawyer appeared in court to move the date from what was supposed to be, I think it was either today or tomorrow. But it's now moved to July 30th. So been remanded or whatever they want to call that. Why do I get the feeling that this case is going to be remanded and delayed until after the 2026 election or drop completely? That's the feeling I get about this. Remember, I said this because I can't think of any reason why this case hasn't been before the judge yet. It's a pretty clean cut case. And I'm not saying that he's guilty. Of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. We have to hear all the evidence and what he has to say. But at the end of the day, police were called. A woman was assaulted and needed medical attention. She fingered Strange. The cops picked him up and arrested him and let him out on bail with a restraining order. So that's basically the basic case. That's it right there. Now, pretty straightforward if you think about it. There's no reason this can't be before the courts, but for some reason it keeps getting delayed. I don't know why they would keep moving the date. All I can think of right now is there's a move to negotiate a settlement to have the charges dropped. And it's kind of negotiated out to drop. And when I mean negotiate, what I mean is that somebody could be willing to accept the sum of money to forget it. And, it's not like we haven't seen this before. We see it all the time. Money can't buy you love, but it can sure buy you a dismissed case if the price is right. So I don't know. I just got a feeling either it's going to be prolonged for till after the next election, maybe, or it's going to just be settled out of the court. It's going to be settled and dismissed. Charges will be dropped and everything. Case in point, if you remember, a guy named Patrick Kane, who played for the Chicago Blackhawks, was from Buffalo. He came home in the summers. Him and his brother got hammered on Chippewa Street in Buffalo, called a cab, robbed and beat the cabbie. The price was about $50,000 to have the cabbie forget about it. Forgot about the whole incident when he went to court. No, it was just a couple of of young guys sold on the town having fun, and I drop all the charges against them. That I think was around 50 grand. That's how that was settled. I mean, I can't think of another reason why this is delayed other than a deal trying to be made, or just delaying it until we get past the next election, which is in a year and a little bit. But it's not hard to delay these things. You just go in and say, "All the evidence isn't in. We haven't got a thing yet," and blah blah blah, and da da da. And they just keep doing this for a long time. They can do it until the judge finally gets fed up and says, "No, we're going to go through with this. This is what it is. Get him in, get his butt in here, and we're going to find out exactly what the situation is and what's going to happen here." So we'll wait and see. But that was the last thing I just heard about it. I thought I'd mention that because a lot of people do ask me, "What's going on with Mike Strange? What's going on with Mike Strange?" And I really don't know. I just keep saying he's innocent until proven guilty. We'll see where this trial takes it. The truth is going to come out one way or the other, and of course, it'll never come out if it's dismissed and it's settled out of court. So we'll see what happens. Over to the Parks Commission now. They're worried about tourists and now terrorists. Yeah, they're worried about tourism. Tourism is down. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they're also worried about terrorists, and rightly so. I just read before I came in here, there was a big warning to airports and stuff. There was a bomb threat. And, we do have sleeper cells in Canada. Don't be smug, Canadians. Don't think we're immune to this kind of thing. They're here, and they're willing to carry out acts against infidels like you and me. That's what they want to do. They have a bizarre look on what should be happening in the world, and it could happen here. It could happen here. But the Niagara Parks Commission is worried enough about it that they worry about pedestrians having been targeted by terrorist drivers. So they've been slowly introducing safety measures, which include jersey barriers, those cement barriers and walls along the roadway, especially where large crowds gather, like at the Table Rock House. So somebody can't just drive up, go through the Table Rock sidewalk there, and then mow down a bunch of people, right? That's what they've been doing. And I can understand why. We've seen people driving down sidewalks, mowing people down, using their vehicles as weapons. They're worried about guns and everything, but a car can be a weapon too. So, or a big truck in some cases. Yeah, it's happened before. It's happened in Toronto many, many times. That down on the Danforth, and there's all kinds of crap going on. But see, this is all good. This is all good, but I'm gonna give you a better solution, and this is something I've been saying for a long time as well. Cut off all vehicular traffic on the Parkway from the bottom of Clifton Hill to at least stuff maybe the Fallsview parking lots. Get rid of car traffic. You don't need it down there. Open up the roads. Let people walk on the roads. Walk where they want. Let them be safe. No cars. And you don't have to worry about this kind of thing happening. You can take down all the barriers, put them up at the end so cars can't get down there, and call it a day. That's where you want to protect it, and let just tourists walk all over the place. And I mean, you could even have some water stops and other stuff for tourists to make their stay more pleasant. I mean, that's a simple way to do it. Rather than spending millions on these barriers and everything else, yeah, just ban cars for the summer, at least from say the May 1 to September 30. Just ban them. You can't drive down there. The only cars that are allowed to go down through there, well, not cars, but vehicles, are the tour buses, like they used to call them what? What do they call those things? Trams. The trams where people jump on and they get taken to different places. I don't know what you call them. Me, I put a monorail up. Oh, look at there's a guy in the meteor crater. He's in the middle of all the weed. He's going to get ticks. Watch out there, buddy. You don't get your boots stuck to the tar in there. It's like the Brea oil pits, tar pits. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would just ban traffic for the summer, call it a day, and that's it. Can't drive down there. You go down Clifton Hill. Can't make a right onto the Parkway. You can make a left to go the other way down here towards Queen Street, but towards the QEW, the entrance for it. But you can't go right and go down there. That would be the simple way. You can't go down Queen Victoria Park after after the May 1st. I would say May 1st, and then I would open it back up September 30th. You want to have it open for the Festival of Lights when it starts in November. The weather, people want to drive by and see the lights. Some people don't like to walk around in that kind of weather. But yeah, you might even want to put those steel barriers that go into the ground and then they come up. They're this far apart. They're this big around, right? And if anybody tries to drive through them, they're going to be wrecking their car before they hit anybody. Something like that can go up and down. If you need emergency vehicles in, you can put them down so emergency vehicles can get through. But there's always going to be a gate or something for the buses to run up and down through there. An elevated monorail would be better. Then you don't even have to go on the road at all. And that's what I'd like to see. But yeah, I think that's the way they got it. It's reality in this day and age. It's just the way it is. There's just nutty people out there, sleeper cells in Canada. You've seen the Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever his name is, declare a fatwa on the infidels. That's us. Kill everybody. Kill them all. I mean, even though they don't say kill Canadians, they hate Americans and they hate Canadians just as bad. So it's inevitable. Thanks to Kevin Werner from Niagara this week for the article. And that will be my suggestion. I know, it's rad. I'm rad. And I'm also racial. I'm a racist. This is against Muslims. You're talking against Muslims. No, I'm just talking facts and reality. We have to be ready for this and protect ourselves and our people from this. And Bob Gale, thank you very much. You're doing a good job down there. You have to be careful and protect people while they're sitting in Niagara Falls having a good time. There you go. Over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you know what? Everybody loves a great pizza, right? You can't beat having a good pizza. And tonight, it's one of those nights where, who wants to cook? It's too hot out. Nobody wants to throw on a barbecue or cook pasta or anything, right? So what do? You grab a pizza. And you get it from Pete's Pizza. Why? Because they're consistently good. They use the Mancini family recipe for sauce. They use the Mancini family recipe for crust. It's been around 40 years. It's tried and true and good. And they use fresh toppings. And Mike takes that Saputo cheese and mixes it with the brick cheese, puts it on that pizza in the right ratio to the sauce. So you're not overwhelmed by cheese and you're not overwhelmed by sauce. It's perfect. That's what I call a pizza. Add fresh toppings and you got yourself a winner. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Chicken wings, poutine, steak and cheese poutine, steak sandwiches, panzerotti, you name it. A full menu to please you. Open till 2 a.m, Friday and Saturday. Midnight during the week for your convenience. How can you beat it? Order a pizza today, 905-374-2222. Or go to petespizzavictoria.ca. You can order right off online, or you can use Skip or Dine and Dash or whatever the hell it's called. All those different services they support. So it's fantastic. Okay, so speaking of tourism and the banning traffic down there, it appears the elbows up attitude of Canadians is having an early effect on tourism, with visitors from American tourists down in the early part of the tourist season. How about that? Who would have thought? I mean, they might think they're going to get elbowed when they get to Canada. An elbow in the smacker, in the schmuck in the face. And they end up like me with black eyes. That's the bad early news, but the good news is that it appears the decline of the American tourist is being replaced by an influx of other international travelers. As the tourist season starts to heat up, now the kids are out of school. It's starting to heat up. There's getting more and more people coming to the city, and I think that the Americans will be here too. David Ames, CEO of Niagara Parks, one of our sponsors, of course, says last year was a high watermark for U.S. revenue, and the drop is being made up from other markets. That's nice. We're up from the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Australia, South Korea, and domestically, as the Elbows Up crowd stays in Canada. The Canadian stay home attitude is also an attitude with some Americans. They're traveling more in their own country. But at the end of the day, let's face it, Canada has a big advantage with its Canadian peso. The Americans get a great bang for their buck when they come to Niagara Falls. And you know what, Americans, if any Americans are listening, yeah, you get 40 cents on the dollar, 45 cents on the dollar. That's right. You give one of these guys a buck, you're going to get a buck 45 back, somewhere around there, 42, 43. And you know what? I always recommend you do it at the bank before, because if you do it in the tourist areas, they're going to grab you. They're going to give you 20 cents. That's all they're going to give you probably. So trade it at a bank before you come here. You'll be surprised. You trade in $1,000 and you get 1,400 or 1,500. What's the matter with that? What's the matter with that? So it's a good bargain. And I think you're going to see more Americans. I mean, let's face it. Most Americans that come here are rubber tire traffic. They're not flying here. They're getting in their car and they're driving. And they're coming from, there's like 20 million people close by between New York City, Detroit, Chicago, the big cities in Pennsylvania, and you go down south to some of the other big cities, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Erie. So there's a lot of rubber tire traffic from the United States, and New York City is 8 hours away. So within 8 hours, you got a lot of people, and that's who gets here. I think with the crappy May and not so great June, they've been not coming over, but I think you're going to see them start to come, and they're gonna be here in droves once they get going. And I was in Erie for a few days, and everybody's saying, well, the tariffs, and I went to the Erie and I talked to a lot of people, and I never heard any American whining about Canadian tariffs and how terrible the Canadians are, and we're not going there. No, nobody said that. Canadians are the only ones that are whining and crying about tariffs. The Americans don't even think about it. They don't consider Canada any kind of a threat, or even they couldn't care less about Canada. Believe me. I mean, you may hear a couple guys over the border here that are a little bit more tuned into maybe what's going on, and they have relatives that are whining to them or something. But overall, Americans on the whole, they couldn't care less. They don't even talk about it. Canadians are the only ones talking about it. So I don't know. I think this year is going to pick up, and it's going to be as any year for American traffic in Niagara Falls. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think? Leave a comment. Come on, tell me what you think is going to happen to the tourist industry. I think it's going to be a great tourist industry. We're going to have a good year, maybe even one of the best years once it gets going here. And I want to thank Ray Spiteri for the article in the review on this. You can read more at the Niagara Falls Review. I get it online because I like to know what's going on in my city, because I come here and talk about it. That's why. So finally, some common sense. People are waking up in Canada. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to understand all this DEI stuff is crap. They're starting to understand Pride Month is a bunch of baloney, and things are happening for the good. They're waking up in Canada. And if you don't think they are, here's good news for those needing hip and knee replacements or any other kind of joint surgery or replacement. Ontario is expanding the delivery of publicly paid orthopedic surgeries done in private clinics in an effort to reduce wait lists. That's right. You're going to start being able to get these procedures done in private clinics, which is so far behind. It's so long overdue. They've got to alleviate the wait times at hospitals. I know people waited 2 years to get a knee replacement, 6 months for an MRI. This is ridiculous. So this is just the start. They're going to let these private clinics do these procedures, and I hope they extend the ability to buy and use MRIs at these facilities. I hope that goes along with the ability to do the procedures. I mean, today, this is what we need. We need it. Ontario's investing $125 million to add up to 20,000 orthopedic surgeries at community surgical centers over the next 2 years. You got to love it. And that's going to reduce wait times for hip and knee replacements. The province opened up a call for applications for new licenses to be issued in 2026. I mean, this is great news for anybody out there who knows the pain of waiting and using a cane or a walker until you can get in there. This is phenomenal news. It's long overdue. We're waking up in Canada and understanding that our healthcare is not the creme de la creme that they make it out to be. There's got to be changes made to it if we really, really, truly care about good healthcare for people. And this is the start of it, and there's lots more that can do. Private clinics are the answer to the long wait times for both surgeries and MRI diagnosis. This is finally here, and I love it, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to benefit from it. What do you guys think? Think private clinics are the way to go? I do. I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic for everybody. Hope we get one in Niagara Falls. Who knows? I think we should. St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. Maybe two if we can find the doctors. And speaking of doctors, Welland. They've hired another doctor. So if my count's correct, that's like 15 in the last year, maybe couple years. Now, Niagara Falls has attracted 2. Why would anyone choose to live in Welland and open a practice in Welland rather than Niagara Falls? The beautiful city of Niagara Falls. Excuse me. I can't help it. This weather I cough. It's like my eyes run and they go down into my throat, and I get the all day. It's from whatever's in the air. Terrible up there. But anyway, forget about me. Let's talk about Welland, because this is a mystery to me. They're offering $100,000 for a doctor to open up a business there, or take over an existing business where the doctors are retiring. And they got 15 of them, while Niagara Falls has 2. And I still can't figure out why they want to go to Welland rather than the beautiful city of Niagara Falls. We do offer a $50,000 signing bonus. Did we jump that to $100,000? I can't remember. They talked about this at a meeting, at one of the city council meetings, of which there's one this coming Monday, by the way. But I don't remember if they said they were going to do that. I can't remember, but one thing's for sure: we need doctors in Niagara Falls. I mean, somebody said I can't find a doctor. What am I going to do? Do you have any? And they said, go to Welland. Go to Welland. You live in Niagara Falls, you got to drive to Welland for a doctor, because our city, for some bizarre reason, can't attract doctors. And I don't get it. Don't look downtown. I mean, that's not a good place to look at. But overall, look at the city. We have more to offer, that's for sure. I think King James the Weird has to find out what Welland has that we don't. We're like the guy that's looking for a girlfriend. All his friends scoop up all the chicks, and he sits there saying, what do they have that I haven't got? And they can't find an answer. That's where we are in Niagara Falls. All our friends in the region are picking up doctors. We can't pick up anybody. And then we say, well, what have they got that we haven't got? I don't know. I think we have the money, we have the good looks, we have the swagger. I mean, we got King James the Weird running the show, and amenities. How does the ugly brother get the girl? I don't get it. You know what? I think it's just because, well, I don't know why. I can't even figure it out why we can't attract doctors here. But I think we have to go a different route. And I've talked about this before. John Ringobeam talked about it on the show. They're doing it at Simcoe. We have to dress up the White Elephant Exchange, Change the name to the medical exchange. Have to add one word. That doesn't cost a lot. And offer a turnkey solution for new doctors. Forget about giving them 50 grand, 100 grand. Offer them a business. Here's your business. Because when they come out of school, they want to treat people. They want to go in and say look down your throat. All they have to do is bring a stethoscope and a schmuck. That's it. The rest is taken care of by the city. So their business part of it, which they're not really proficient at, they're not really great businessmen, a lot of doctors. What they are is very good doctors. The business end of it is tough. You got to open an office. They got to hire people. They got to get all the equipment in. It's expensive. Imagine if they could just walk in with a stethoscope around their neck, their name's on the door. There's someone sitting at the reception desk, and they got 4 offices in that room outside the waiting room, 4 offices that they could take patients. And that's all they have to do. This is a great idea. This is one that we should go with so we can beat Welland, because we're not beating them one-on-one. We're getting crushed. So for now, until somebody stands up at city council, some city councilor says, hey, maybe this is something we could do, and a motion gets passed to look into it, we're going to have to just go with what we got and watch people wandering around, not being able to get a doctor, and congratulating Welland for the tremendous job they do at recruiting doctors. How they do it, I don't know. Even if King James goes over and asks Frank Campion, the mayor of Welland, even if he goes there, guess what Frank's going to tell him? I'm not telling you. We want more doctors here. I'm not telling you how to steal our doctors. Get the hell out of here. So yeah, so we're not going to find out. We have to come up with our own solution, and that could be it. That could be it. Okay, so I had Mike Lucid in here a few times talking about the visa mills called universities, like the University of Niagara Falls. What they are is diploma mills. They're really visa mills. What they do is they issue visas to these people to come over here as students. They give them bird names, manager of AI or something, business management AI, some kind of weird certificate. And but the big thing is people are coming over for is that visa, that student visa. And somebody messaged me and said, Paul, here's a part of this scam that you've never talked about. And I go, well, what is it? And they told me. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm not saying this is true. Let's get that straight. Somebody told me this. But there's some signs that point to a little bit of truth in it. And what I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. So this is another part of that student visa scam. And I call it a scam because 50,000 visas were issued, student visas were issued. Oh, maybe more than that, maybe 100,000. I don't know how many specifically. I have to look it up. But I know one thing. This is true. 50,000 of the ones issued never showed up for the first day of class. Never even showed up because they're not here to go to school. They get that student visa. Then they go grab a full-time job, and on that student visa, they bring over their mother and their father and their sisters and their brothers. It's just the way it works. And nobody in the government bothers to go out and find these people and send them back to their country because they broke the whole agreement. The agreement is we're giving you a student visa to get in the country. You go to school. No, they're not doing that. And so where's the scam part of it? Well, here it is. Students with a student visa are allowed to work 24 hours a week to make money. 24 hours a week. That's it. All they're allowed to work legally. So the ones that come over on the student visa use that to get a job, but they work full-time hours. Now, the employer can't give them full-time hours because they're supposed to be on a student visa. They can only work 24 hours a week. So what they do is they pay them the other 16 hours or more a week, whatever their full-time hours are, cash at a lower hourly rate. And they're willing to accept it because they need money to live when they get here. And somebody told me there's 60 Indian restaurants in town or something. How can they all make money? How can they all make money? But if they're working this little deal here, then they can employ these people, and they can pay them 24 hours. And guess what? They're probably getting subsidized by the government to hire these students on the visas. So you look around, it's all coming to fruition here. It's all making sense. And a lot of them are involved in other things. They're fronts. So I have to think that this what I heard may be true. Now I don't know if it's true or not. I can't say, but I'm just telling you what people tell me here. Both the employer and the employee are scamming the system. So the student visa is a farce. We know that for a fact because 50,000 kids came over on student visas. They never even showed up for the first day of class. They're out there wandering around doing whatever. And they never wanted to go to school. Then they bring others over. They never pick them up. They never send them back. 100,000, I think they said, no, 1.2 million people were here on visas of one kind or another that expired January 1st. Has anybody ever heard about them being sent home? Where are they? They're wandering around Canada somewhere. So I don't know if you heard any of this. Anybody out there heard anything like this? If you have, let me know in the comments. If you think I'm full of it, and that's a lot of baloney, let me know in the comments. This is what I do. I tell you things, and then you tell me if it's true or not, or what you believe to be true. Now, this person said they knew for sure because somebody they knew worked in the same industry, worked with these people, and this is what was going on. So that's how they found out, right from somebody who worked in the same situation. Whether it is or not, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Come on. Stay tuned. I'm going to find out more, guaranteed. Somebody's going to say something. And when they do, I'll report back to you. I'll tell you what's going on. I mean, what the hell? Okay, and now we're going to go down south for a little bit because we have a huge battle brewing, and it's been brewing for about a month now. And that is Trump versus Musk. And I'm going to get into that after my third sponsor here, Hamel Machine Company. And Hamel Machine Company's been around since 1948 in Niagara Falls, well established, highly valued in the machine shop industry, in the fabrication industry. And why? Because industries move to cities that have machine shops that can fix their problems. And what are their problems? All kinds of stuff. They have machines. Machines break down. They can't wait for parts. And in this day and age of just in time stocking stuff, they don't keep stuff in stock because it costs too much money. So what they do is they do just in time ordering. A machine breaks down, they order the parts. But today, those parts are coming from OEMs in China, in Taiwan, in Vietnam, in Korea, in Germany. They're coming from all over the world, Brazil, anywhere. And it takes time to get them here. And if you want to fly them here, it costs you a fortune. So what do? They go to Hamel Machine Company. They say, hey, Bob, I got a problem with this machine. Can you come look at it? He goes down there. Oh, yeah, we can fix that. They take it apart. They get the part. They either fix it or re-engineer it. And when they re-engineer it, they look at it and see if they can make it better and more efficient because these days, time is money. That's what they do. The professionals at what they do. They've been doing it since 1948. And the innovations they have made for the agricultural industry and the food industry and the wine industry are now used all over the world. They ship worldwide. They have designers, they have IT, they have graphic artists, they have electrical engineers, everything that industry needs. But they haven't forgot about you, the little guy. Joe Blow comes into their shop and says, hey, Bob, I need a set of gates for my backyard. Can you design them and fabricate them? Here's what I'd like them to look like. Yeah, they do it. They weld them all up, get them powder coated, come down, help you install them. This is what they do for us, too. You shear a pin on your snowblower. Oh, what do I do now? They get them Hamel. They'll get in there, take it apart, cut a new keyway, mill it, machine it, whatever they got to do to fix it, weld it, and they'll have it back to you running just like new. That's what they do. They're so good at it. Since 1948, Hamel Machine Company. Go to their website, hamelmachine.ca. You'll see all the wonderful work they do. And we thank them so much for sponsoring the show and being a big part of Niagara Falls and sponsoring events and all that other community stuff. Thank you very much. Support our sponsors because they support you, and tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. So Musk and Trump battling it out now. It erupted again when Trump said he's going to start a new political party to take on Trump's Republican representatives in the upcoming midterm elections. Woo! All due to Musk being PO'd about Vance's vote on the big, beautiful bill in the Senate. A vote that decided whether it would pass or not. Now, this big, beautiful bill, Musk don't agree with it because there's about $500 billion of spending in it. And what's happened is that Musk has been there with Doge trying to save money. And now he says in the bill, there's a bunch of money being spent that shouldn't be spent. There are a bunch of porkers going to the trough and blah, 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 blah. That goes on and on. And he's really been on the rampage against Trump. So this bill, the big, beautiful bill, has to go back to the House now because there's a couple changes that they did in the Senate before they sent it back to the House, passed it, and sent it back to the House. And we'll see what's going on, but the House has to ratify it before it goes into law. Now, the Republicans are hoping to get this done today. They want the discussion done today because they wanted it before July 4th, which is mañana. They wanted to celebrate it on July 4th. See if they can make it happen. They have a majority in the House so they can get everybody aboard and vote on this thing. It's done. But I digress about the big, beautiful bill. Elon is pissed because it includes $5 trillion in spending, like I said, and that's something that doesn't jive with the Doge mandate. Although he's not really there running Doge anymore. And part of that big, beautiful bill is the cut in EV situation. So they wanted to have everybody driving electric cars by 2035 or something, which is good for Musk. Now, Trump said, and he's got it in the big, beautiful bill, this is promises made, promises kept. He said that they're going to allow people to choose the kind of car they want to drive. It's getting rid of the EV mandates, and people will be able to choose the kind of car they want to drive, gas-powered or whatever. And he said, Musk knew this when we went in. I've said it a million times. It's a promise made, and I'm going to keep that promise. Now, Musk threatens to start a new party to run against Trump. Trump is pretty calm, saying that Doge may have to look into its creator. So Frankenstein is being looked into by the monster. Created a monster, Musk, and now it's going to look into Musk. Because he's getting billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars from the U.S. government to keep Tesla running and to keep SpaceX in orbit. And Trump says, perhaps this isn't the best way to spend taxpayer dollars. Let's sick Doge on him and see what Doge has to say about it. And he said that this kind of stuff going against the Republican Party and the government and everything else could be an act of a traitor, undermining his party, trying to fix the election some way, and that because he's a naturalized U.S. citizen, he wasn't born there, he may just get deported back to South Africa. He doesn't watch his step. He could have his status pulled, much like that Mamdani in New York City. The guy's running as a Democrat for mayor and admits that he's a communist, and he wants to turn New York City into a democratic socialist city. And Trump has taken and told Pam Bondi and everybody else to start looking at this guy, find out his status. He's another naturalized citizen, and may send him packing as well. And as a matter of fact, they're thinking of going right to the crux of the problem, in that if you want to run for a political position in the United States, you have to be a born American citizen, not a naturalized citizen. You have to be born in the USA. Solves the problem immediately. And the president said that even though Musk is mad at the EV part of the bill, Musk should have known that Trump wouldn't go back on his word. I mean, he's going to keep his promise to let people have the choice, and that's what he's doing. So why Musk is getting all bent out of shape, Trump says, I don't know, but he's not immune to investigation and all that neither, which is a good thing. So Musk isn't shy. He said without him, Trump wouldn't have won the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans wouldn't be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude from Trump. So this is getting to be real interesting. And if Musk was smart, he would kiss and make up. Musk is not the president, and at the end of the day, Trump could cut his funding, and that tallies up in the hundreds of billions, and send him back to South Africa. He may be the richest man in the world. That's true. But Trump is the most powerful man in the world, and Musk should never forget that. Stay tuned to this one. It's game on. What do you think? Does Musk have a right to be mad at this? Or is he overplaying his hand? Like a lot of other people, like Chili con Carne and Zelensky. What do you think? That's why you leave comments. We want your opinion on this. Adam Hyde, you know what you're talking about. Leave an opinion on this. I always shout out to my friends. Dave Wheeler, another guy. Pete Giblin, another guy. They always talk about this. Let's see what they have to say. We'll read them on here. Okay, I got to get to my last sponsor, the Niagara Parks Commission. And, in Niagara Falls, we live here. And the Niagara Parks Commission, the Niagara Parks, and Niagara Falls itself is a mile from my house. I mean, I can hear it at night. I sit out on the front porch and I can listen to the falls, the roar of the falls. And we take it for granted. But the Niagara Parks Commission has really, really been a good guardian of the section of the Niagara River Parkway that runs from Fort Erie to Niagara and the lake, and keeping it pristine, putting in attractions that are interesting if they put in any, and that also blend in with the environment. And they want you to come down and take a look at it and enjoy it. And us from Niagara Falls, those people from Niagara Falls, we don't take advantage of the beauty of Niagara Falls enough. We really don't. I mean, there's nothing better, and I don't do it often, but when I do get down to the falls and stand at the Table Rock House and look over that edge, and the falls is dropping 180 feet, all the mist coming up from the falls, it's a sight. It's the seventh natural wonder of the world that we're looking at here, right in my backyard, and I don't go down there enough, but you should, because Niagara Park Commission has a lot of attractions for you, a lot of things for you to do. And I'm not talking about carnival rides. I'm talking about going down a shaft from one of the power stations and walking to the brink of the falls, standing on a platform that looks right up at the falls. You're looking right up at the falls. They have spectacular vistas and attractions down there, walking right next to the rapids, a grade 6 rapids, so dangerous boats can't go down it. Walking right beside them and watching that water. It's unbelievable what they have there. And you know what? They have attraction passes for locals and tourists. So you got to go to NiagaraParks.com and see all they have to offer. But we're missing out, and it's because you become complacent. I'm sure somebody who lives in Arizona by the Grand Canyon don't go look at it every day. But when you look at it, it's amazing. Same with Niagara Falls. Plus, they give you these adventure passes. You can go on and use these attractions. Plus, they give you the parking pass, $50 for the season. You go down there all the time, park in the best places, and it's all included with the parking pass. So there's a lot to offer. If you're coming in from out of town, check out their adventure pass. If you're coming in from out of town, check out the Whirlpool Golf Course. They have the new Whirlpool Pub and Lounge. If you're from the city, take advantage of the great things they have. We don't do it enough, and And it's the most beautiful part of Niagara Falls. It really, really is. Winter or summer, it doesn't matter. Niagara Parks Commission, go to niagaraparks.com. See how they have to offer. And thank you for supporting our sponsors. We definitely appreciate it. And supporting the show, we appreciate that too. So now we get to the next thing. Over to the Middle East. I want to talk about the Middle East because things are heating up over there. I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts in Iran. The supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, has issued a fatwa against the president, and they've had a bounty on Trump's head for a long time, ever since he took out Soleimani. But now he's issuing a fatwa against any infidels. So it could be you, it could be me. In any country that's involved in the bombing of their nuclear facilities, he's still underground in a bunker, this guy. And of course, he's scheduled for execution if he ever pops his head up. They did that to al Baghdadi. They said, we're pulling out of Syria. Al Baghdadi pops up in a drone, clips him with a missile. So they love doing that. Trump is the best at this, taking out these big guys. And the Israeli Defense Forces, they're not bad neither. They've clipped all these scientists that were running the nuclear program there and running the centrifuges, plus a lot of leaders from Hamas, Hezbollah, and the RGC. But at ground level, the IRGC, the Iranian guards, they're the Iranian army, they're under attack. Drones are being launched and blowing things up, and nobody is sure where the drones are coming from. Are they coming from Israel? Or are they coming from inside the country? Because these revolutionaries want this gone. They want the Ayatollah gone. So it's getting really, really wacky over there. The U.S. has issued an order for all Americans in Iran to leave. And those ones that have dual passports, Iranian and American passports, use your Iranian passport or you might not get out. They're telling them to get out of there. So there's something big that's going to be going down the tube. They're worried about these drones, with who's doing them. There's a revolution going on. Iran is falling. It's the fall of Iran, and it looks imminent. The son of the Shah of Iran, he's there. He's already saying he's going to take over when it happens and bring Iran back to its greatness when his father, the Shah of Iran, was there. And he took off in 1979 when the Ayatollah came back from France out of exile. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Keep an eye on that, too. That's a hot spot. There's all kinds of stuff happening, and we got to watch this Musk thing. What's going on with this big, beautiful bill if it gets passed? I mean, this is very, very important for Trump because this is probably going to mark his legacy if this gets passed. And it's not just about spending. It's about cutting taxes on tips and no tax on overtime. There's a lot of good things in it. Of course, the Democrats are focusing on one thing, but the bill itself is a good bill for the country. Okay, so we have Finally Friday tomorrow. Then we move in the City Council agenda review on Monday because City Council agenda is out. Go to niagarafalls.ca and look at the agenda yourself. I'm going to take a look at it, and I'll give you some highlights tomorrow. But Dave Wheeler and I imagine Dave's coming in on Monday. We'll go through the whole thing with you, give you what to watch for, see how they're spending your money and our money too, and go from there. We just had our third quarter tax bill come up, had to be paid by June 30th. That was almost $1,000 for me. And I'm very interested in seeing how these people sitting at the city council table down the street here on Queen Street are spending my money. I'm going to help you to understand by telling you what it's all about. How about that? Then, of course, we move into a Straight Talk Tuesday where I'm going to go and pick up anything that I missed because they give you the agenda. But sometimes there's things that come in last minute and they put it on. And so you don't see it until Tuesday morning. So if I see anything on Tuesday, I'll bring that up before the meeting at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. Give you a few highlights tomorrow. Dave will be in on Monday to talk about it. Other than that, we're done here for today. Leave comments. Come on. I've got a lot of controversial stuff in this show. Somebody should be commenting on it, good or bad. I don't care. Thumbs up, like, subscribe. It costs nothing. Get involved. Let's get involved. I mean, it's your city. Let's hear your voice. I have my opinion. You know that. Now let's hear your opinion. And I don't care if it's even people from city council. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, if I have facts wrong, if you have some way to correct me, let me know. Email me, message me on Facebook. Go to the video, put comments on there. They always have something to say to me when they see me, and that's good. I love it. I love it because I, like I say, I'm friends with all these guys on city council. I don't agree with the way they do things a lot of times, but I'm friends with them all. I like them all. And I appreciate that they take the time out to sit at that council meeting and take the flack they do from me and other people and do their best to make the city better. But sometimes they're wrong. They're not always right. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, on Chrysler Avenue, in the studios of 4680Q. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Finally Friday. God bless you all, and please, please support our sponsors. They're very good people. They're great businesses in Niagara Falls. They support the show. They support the city. So support them. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. See you tomorrow at noon sharp. Promises made, promises kept. Right here on Your City, Your Voice, 4680Q Radio. Hasta la vista.